Hey everyone, today we're going to build something really useful, a complete blueprint for creating a machine learning model on Google Cloud. We're going to go step by step, from just a pile of raw data all the way to a live model that can make predictions. So let's dive right in.
You know that one question that keeps every business up at night? Why do customers leave? You might think you have a hunch, but what if you could actually predict it before it even happens? Well, that's a perfect problem for machine learning, and it's the exact challenge we're going to tackle. Now, to make sure this blueprint is super clear and easy to follow, we're not just going to talk theory. We're going to build a real-world model that predicts customer churn. This one example will be our guide through every single stage of the process. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start at the very beginning with the data foundation. Then we'll get into the fun part, training our model and putting it out into the world. And finally, we'll cover how to keep it healthy and accurate. By the end, this entire blueprint will be yours.
Okay, so if you strip it all down, pretty much every successful machine learning project on the planet follows these 5 core stages. It's a universal pattern, kind of like a recipe, that takes you from preparing your ingredients, the data, all the way to monitoring the final dish. Let's get into it.
First up, data. You can't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation, right? Well, it's the exact same thing in machine learning. Everything starts and ends with your data. Get this part right, and trust me, your life gets so much easier down the road. Let's see how it's done on Google Cloud.
So, first things first, where is all this data hiding? For our churn model, every click, every purchase, every single customer interaction, it's all sitting in BigQuery. Think of it less like a storage closet and more like a giant, super-fast digital library that can find any piece of information you need in seconds.
Let's be real. Raw data is messy. It's got missing values, weird formatting. It's just not ready for a model. So how do we clean it up? That's where data flow comes in. It's like an automated factory pipeline that takes in that messy data, cleans it, sorts it, and churns out a perfect, pristine data set that our model can actually learn from.
Okay, our data is sparkling clean and perfectly prepped. Now, this is where the magic really starts to happen. It's the training phase. We're basically sending our model to school, where its one and only subject is to learn the hidden patterns that predict when a customer might leave.
And what's the name of this school? It's Vertex AI. But it's not just a classroom. Think of it as the entire campus. It's the workbench, the lab, the whole shebang, all in one unified place. It's where we take our clean data, pick an algorithm, and actually train the model.
So the model's been trained. Does that mean we just trust it blindly? No way. We've got to give it a final exam. That's what evaluation is all about. We test it with a bunch of data it has never, ever seen before to find out, did it actually learn the right lessons? Is it really any good at this?
All right, the report card is in, and our model passed with flying colors. It's graduated. So what's next? It's time to put it to work. We're moving it out of the research lab and into the real world, where it can actually start doing its job and providing value. When we go to deploy, we've basically got 2 main flavors. The first is online prediction. Think speed. A customer service agent needs to know right now if the person on the phone is a churn risk. That's online. The other option is batch prediction. This is more like a nightly checkup that runs through all your customers and gives you a fresh report of at-risk folks every morning. And hey, if you have really specific, custom needs or need massive scale, you're not boxed in. You can use platforms like Google Kubernetes Engine or Cloud Run to deploy your models. The point is, you have the flexibility to do what works best for you.
Okay, our model is live. It's out in the wild making predictions. Mission accomplished. Time to go home, right? Well, not so fast. The job's not quite done. In fact, a whole new and super important chapter is just beginning, keeping the model healthy.
You have to think of a deployed model like a new car. You wouldn't just drive it for years and never check the oil or the tire pressure, would you? The world changes, customer behavior changes, and your model's predictions can slowly drift off course. Monitoring is that essential health check that makes sure your model stays accurate and valuable. So, we've gone the whole distance, from a messy pile of data all the way to a smart, live, and monitored model. Now, let's zoom out and pull this all together into that simple, powerful blueprint we talked about at the start. And here it is. This is your cheat sheet. This is the blueprint. For every single stage of the project, you now know the key question you need to ask, and you know the exact Google Cloud tool that gives you the answer. From data prep with BigQuery to training with Vertex AI. It's your complete checklist for success.
So there you have it. We've walked through the whole journey, and what you have now isn't just theory. It's a practical, repeatable blueprint for turning your own data into powerful predictions on Google Cloud.
So I've got one last question, but this one's for you. You have the blueprint now. You know the pattern for predicting churn or spotting fraud or forecasting demand, so the real question is, what are you going to predict first?